Welcome to SNN episode 6, I think. And yeah, tone of the last episode was not sarcastic at all. But to deliver information that we're going into a stupid new war, I couldn't throw on the sarcasm tone on that. But I've seen a few stories today that I think might boost the need for my style of news presentation. And I don't want anyone to take this as a sign of disrespect. My American flag has been lowered, not because I hate on it or anything, just I kind of have it in my way of putting it at half mast in my room because I think us getting into a stupid war that we might not fucking win is a really dumb move. So we're in distress, but I am very much love America. So want that to be understood. I still very much love the country. If anything, it's shown more prominently in the background now. If anything, I need to move this a little bit. But just until I get this HD monitor. Fuck you commercials. Trying to have my... Are you kidding me? Trying to put my music in here. Anyway, we gotta get to the news. The news that's not just the Jew news. Not just the fucking stupid news. Not just the war in the Middle East because Trump is a fucking puppet who takes up his anal crack news. Not that news. That was yesterday. And honestly, that was this whole weekend. But I mean, you know, I gave you my angle on it yesterday, which is an offensive angle to the left, to the right, and to any Zionist. And good. I don't want to be boxed in with any of you people, especially the Zionists. This triumphant music in the background. I don't know. See, sometimes I re-listen to it and I don't hear this shit. But the music sometimes can fuck with me. So let's not let it get too annoying. But here to get to the news now. This story caught my eye. It made me laugh. I knew I had to share it right away. So there was a mayor in Mississippi, I believe, or Louisiana, whatever. They're all the same fucking thing, right? Former racist state. So a former Louisiana mayor is facing the consequences of what prosecutors describe as a sexual encounter. How do you describe it as that? I mean, it's either. But anyways, I digress. I actually haven't finished the sentence. What prosecutors describe as a sexual encounter with a teenage boy at an alcohol-fueled pool party. An encounter her own children first hand reportedly witnessed. And her name is Misty Roberts, aged 43. Stood trial last week stemming from third-degree rape involving a 2024 incident with a 16-year-old boy. I'm kind of dyslexic. I'm reading this shit backwards, but she previously served as mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana, a city with around 10,000 located roughly 20 miles east of the Texas border, where she was in her second term at the time of the alleged offense. At the time that she decided to fuck one of her son's friends. I want to just state that for the record. And by the way, when women decide to be all pedophile, why the fuck isn't the outrage there for them? There should be a little bit more. Just saying. I understand that it's grosser for a guy. I do think it is. But even with that understanding, it's still fucking gross. Okay? If you're 43, is that what that... 43! And you're like, what the fuck did the 43-year-old woman have in common with the 16-year-old boy? Both emotionally fucking unstable, needy, I don't know, but nothing that should ever cross into that barrier. And even if it did, do it that once. There was one student and a kid a long time ago, I remember, who the teacher got in trouble, and they actually just straight up went fucking celibate until the kid turned 18, and then they got married. And I was like, okay, well, shit, that's real. I ain't gonna hate on that, you know. But like, this isn't even a teacher. This is a mayor, and she's so apparently the teenage boy at the center of this case is the son, and he wanted to have a party, and his mom. I'm just gonna sum it up a little bit, okay? I'm not gonna read this shit completely, but his mom seemed to express willingness to provide alcohol at this party. Invite all your friends. Your sister's here. You're here. Bring that kid over too. That she obviously wanted to fuck or something, or maybe she. I don't know if she already knew this in her brain, or if it just happened over the course of events through the night. But either way, that did happen to her brain at some point during the night or prior. It could have been pre-planned. Let's be honest. How many people would want to party with their fucking mom? Everyone come over, let's get all fucked up, and all your friends being dumbasses in front of your parents. What the fuck? And it's weird anyways on its face. But then again, there are people with ghetto ass families and shit. You know, I can relate to some extent. It's not from my parents though, but you know, like I can get it. The point is though is that this bitch was a groomer. It seems like. Let me go on. I keep sidetracking. A member of the victim's friend group, victim, testified that the teen appeared visibly intoxicated during the gathering and vomited at some point during the evening. So she was feeding this kid alcohol, and she was feeding herself them, because she's the one who bought it. Okay, like even if she wasn't the one who had the money for it, she's the one who fucking went and acquired it. Okay, for this party, in which she didn't care if her own kids got drunk, and then if she ended up traumatizing her son by fucking one of his friends. Fuck. This is actually, I don't know how, like, am I even being sarcastic? I'm just reading the goddamn story, and this is just horrible already. Okay. The same witness described Roberts as dancing with and flirting with the teenage victim throughout the party. A photograph presented to jurors showed Roberts at the party wearing a bikini with the teenage victim looking up at her and smiling. Her own daughter told a group of teens that night that she witnessed her mom and that minor kissing near a pool. According to testimonies from one of the victim's friends, the witness further stated he personally observed Roberts and the teen engaged in a sex act. Robert's son told investigators he saw his mother having sex with his friend through a gap in his window. However, in a subsequent court appearance, he stated he was not entirely certain about what he had witnessed that night. I might not have noticed that. I'm sorry, but that is something you will never, ever in your life. That is a burned image into your fucking brain for the rest of your life. If you really witnessed your friend and your mom hooking up, you really witnessed that, okay? You're gonna fucking, and then recant the statement later. I don't know what I saw. You know what you saw. And you remember it every moment of your life. Every time you see your mom, you're gonna remember that. Every time you see that dude, you're gonna remember that. And that's why she just emotionally fucking traumatized this kid. What a piece of shit. I mean, they're talking about her as a disgraced mayor. Let's talk about the disgraced mother here, okay? It's not only she hooking up with a younger guy, a younger minor, okay? That's friends with, you know, her one of her children, but she's doing it in front of her children. Jesus. Ghetto ho. Let's go on. Text message presented by prosecutors showed Robert's son texting her that evening, informing her that his sister was in tears over what was unfolding. The whole party's clowning, probably being like, "Oh, your mom's getting fucked up." Like this is probably what's happening. And in messages also informing her that he is 17. Authorities later confirmed the victim was actually 16 at the time. Robert's daughter also took the stand, and prosecutors played her recorded interview with detectives in which she stated that she saw her mother and the teen boy on top of each other during the party. This was happening throughout the whole damn night. They can't even sneak away or nothing. Not even trying to hide it. That's the stupidity of all this. Like, you know, you hear about a lot of crimes in life, and you think, oh, well, that was dumb. But, I mean, it's really dumb when you're doing it in front of people. Not even. I've said this to so many of my friends in my life. Even just back in the day, just smoking weed and shit like that. They just be like, "Oh, it's just that. It's just that." It's like, yeah, but eventually someone's going to take issue if you do it in front of their face. Blow weed smoke out in front of their face. You have a blunt walking down the street. I mean, in California, I had friends who did it all the time. No one gave a fuck. But eventually, you're gonna come across one person who will give a fuck, and that's happened to every one of my friends that I warned about that. Not that it really affected their life. I mean, it's California. It's not like you're gonna go to jail really for that. But it's just kind of a respect thing too. Also, you just don't do it in front of walking in front of on a block. While kids could be playing outside smoking weed. I mean, come on, it's just a respect thing. That's all. And eventually people took issue with people. I tried to warn, and they all told me I was being a pussy. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? It wasn't a good idea for you either. Anyway, point is, let's get back on the story. So they were both doing. They weren't even trying to hide it, like I said. And following the encounter, the victim's mother contacted Roberts by text message to confirm that she was not pregnant. She replied, so the victim's mom already knew. This is blown up in her face literally as it's happening. Her kids are texting her. Literally right after it's happening, the mom of the other. So this is insane. And this bitch was the mayor? Whoa. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know, man. There's a lot of ghetto people in this world, and they don't mind drinking with their kids or whatever. And I don't really, it just depends on their age and maturity. It's not always about age. Sometimes it's just about maturity. And this bitch she shouldn't even be allowed to drink. Okay, and she's what, 43? She shouldn't even be allowed to drink. Okay, I know fucking people way younger than that, or well, let's just say it's not as much the other way around. But let's just say there's people way younger that act way more mature than her. And what's even funnier, my lord. So the victim's mother contacts her and made sure she wasn't pregnant. She replied that she was on birth control. But then prosecutors told jurors that Roberts then shared a screenshot that exchange in a group chat with friends who encouraged her to take Plan B, which is the over-the-counter pill. And even a DoorDash driver testified that he accepted a delivery order from an account listed as Misty C to purchase emergency contraception and leave it at the residence. The driver stated he recognized the home from taking his children trick-or-treating there and later connected the delivery to Roberts after hearing community rumors about the allegations. Oh my god, she's been caught up in every way possible. Even from, she tried to even say she was on birth control. That was a lie. She got caught up with that. Oh my god. Do I even have to be sarcastic about the story? Should I just read it? That's all I need to do. Just read it and then let's go through the emotions of everybody involved. Okay, let's just pan out the entire cast of characters that we have already heard about. We already know, and I don't want to make fun of these people, by the way, but we already know that there's fucking two traumatized kids, a boy and a girl. Pretty sad. There's one friend that's probably not a friend anymore of the boy, whose mom already found out within the same night of him getting drunk and this happening, so he's in trouble, and I'm sure that set him back somewhat. Unless his mom was just as ghetto as this bitch was, but I mean, I'm holding up. I don't even remember where I guess I'm listing all the things. All the ways that she could have got caught, she got caught, and still went forward with it. So stupid. And what can you say? I mean, and then let's see. So Duncan Clanton, which is her former husband, took the stand and testified that she told him directly that she engaged in a sexual act with a minor and that her children had witnessed it. Jesus. It was one thing to hear that happened, but then the kids witnessed it. Clanton stated his son later confirmed to him what Roberts had said. text message exchanged between the former couple were shown in court, and he urged his ex-wife to deny the incident if confronted at a town council meeting and described her as a great mom. Okay, this was the part of the story I did not expect to come to. What the... Let me reread this to make sure that I didn't just hear the... What? Let me reread it. Text messages presented by prosecutors... Oh, no. I'm... Okay. Okay, so... The former couple... Yeah, somehow I got way farther up there. Alright, the former couple... were shown in court, the text messages between this slut and her ex-husband, right? Were shown in court, and he urged her, if anyone says anything at a city council meeting about the incident, to deny it, and that she's a great mom. This happened in front of her kids. She's a great mom, and then deny it. It's on the record. This guy, this cuck bastard, and I know that it says ex-husband, so he's already not with her anymore, but it's still just like, what the hell is wrong with men, man? Why can't you just admit when a woman fucks up? If it's the mother of your children, you don't want to hurt her, but you gotta be real about the situation. What the hell? I'm reading this, and that's what you say, and more people will come out of the article thinking you're a bitch than she's a you know, all the things you can call her after this. A horrible mother, a fucking degenerate, a hoe, a pedophile. All those things are true. But he looks like more of a bitch than her. I mean, almost, just from that. So anyway, Roberts replied, I can't keep hurting others, friends, family. Lord knows I've done enough. Yeah, I'll give that. During cross-examination, Clanton was asked whether he still believed his ex-wife to be a great mother. He answered no. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, well, he took the right stance in front of his entire family in a courtroom, but to her, in a personal text message, he said deny it to the people in public. So what kind of guy is this? Is he still trying to like hook up with her on the side? What a bitch, man. That's all I gotta say. I don't know I was making fun of her, but let's make fun of this guy now. What a bitch. Seriously? You say she's a great mother right after the events unfold. And then you're sitting there digesting it all in the courtroom. And you're like, actually, no, she's not. I go, no shit. You should have known that from the second she had to approach you about it, because your kids were going to already knew about it and were, you know, set to tell you if she didn't say it to you before. I mean, I don't like laughing at these matters because it's not funny. I actually feel bad for the two kids in this scenario, and they're probably not kids, but teenagers. I really do, because no one deserves that. No one deserves that, especially, you know, those rumors about your mom. Oh my god, just sad. But the silver lining in all of this is that they were stupid enough to invite their friends to a party where she, you know, she was buying the alcohol and was going to be, and was already had, you know, has a pool and was ready to party in a bikini and everything. I mean, that's already not right. So I mean, I'm not really blaming them, but at the same time, here's a learning experience for you that you never wanted. There it is. You learned. Is there anything else? Well, yeah, let's just go to the conclusion of the story. She faces charges of third-degree rape and contributing to the delinquency of juveniles. Shocker. But I think there should be more public shame for women who do this. I have to say, I do think there should be more public shame, because when guys do this, there's a whole shit ton of shame. And hey, I absolutely am on board with it. But this is happening a lot now. It used to just be like, oh, most pedophiles are men and all this. It's like, dude, I'm reading about these stories all the fucking time. And all my homies and a lot of people I kick it with, and just in general, most men I hang around with, when they hear stories like this, they're like, lucky. And it's just like, bro. Or like, just look at the ages of some of these chicks. And then they're like mid-marriage, like already had like 2 kids in a lot of cases, 3 kids. Like I'm not just bringing this is a commonality actually. Like this the one thing that wasn't common about this story is that she wasn't a teacher, but it's a commonality with those stories with their teachers, and it's like men need to stop responding in such a positive way to getting taken advantage of by older women, because that's the thing. They're just taking advantage of you all your life, bro. The only time in your fucking life that you can tell them back the fuck up and get the fuck away and you can't do shit is when you're mine. So, flex that when you can, okay? Especially if it's some gross bitch, don't let her be your first. Fuck. Yeah. So, and yeah, I wanted to riff on that story a little bit. I'm gonna go and check out some new ones now. Some more news now. Let's go. I have a lot of news sources just kind of loaded up. Let's start with RT. Let's see where they're at with this. Ukraine. Fuck your notifications. All right. Ukraine shoots down EU mission to inspect Russian oil pipeline. Okay. Um. Yeah, that's a. What is it? Is it the one that they destroyed? Didn't somebody destroy a Russian pipeline? U.S. base in Kuwait where 6 troops were killed lacked fortifications. I'm not really gonna talk about this war, man. I can't. Not in the style that I want to. Only to say that it's just gonna be so beneficial for this country, because we're shooting down $75,000 drones with $1 million missiles defenses. Isn't that so smart? Isn't that a smart move? Doesn't it not seem like we're being blackmailed by weapons defense contractors and the people who hold stock in those companies? That's a crazy conspiracy to think when you just look at that fact. There's fucking sarcasm for you. And that's a fact too, by the way. We're sending $1 million missiles to defend from $75,000 drones. This is happening right now. Stupidity of getting involved in these fucking wars. But they were, as Trump said today, they were going to attack us first. And because he has a crystal ball and apparently we have discovered fucking time travel, he forgot to mention that part, because when he said that, he didn't realize he was also admitting that he had discovered how to look into the future. He didn't tell us how, but he did discover that. So we actually do have to question him more about that, and kind of like, we don't even have to be too hard on him over the war. We need to find out where he gets this future seeing technology, and how is this gonna, when he peers his head and looks into this window of the future, how is bombing Iran actually going to help America? How is it going to keep America great, make America great again? How is it America first or America only? How is it any of those things? I don't know, but Trump looked into a future ball, everybody, so you got to trust the plan. Just like those Q-tards, do that. And a message to them, okay? Read my transcripts. I hope you think that I'm an idiot. But in reality, I will relentlessly mock the shit you think. And I guess I did just fuck up my transcript now, but it's alright. Relentless mockery. People who still think Trump will save the day. Fuck off. Come on. We're in year 6, and he just started. He kidnapped a fucking leader in January, and he started a war in February with Iran. We're in March. I'm scared, bro. There's another war that he could start this month. Talking about ending like 9 wars. He started 2 in 2 months, man. I mean, I guess it wasn't much of a war, and we're lucky that it wasn't with Venezuela, but like, Iran is not as much of a joke. It's not. These people think they're so stupid, bro. No matter what, we become broker, whether it's through the expenses of all the bullshit that we paid for in munitions to win, or we lost a lot of money to lose. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for America. But it's especially a lose-lose if Israel loses. They put all their betting odds on a country much smaller with this much smaller population. and just big territorial ambitions across that region. That's why they bomb everybody all the time. They need a bigger country. I was saying it yesterday. Anyways, I'll stop riffing on that because I know it's not really my style. But I want that crystal ball, Trump. I want you to tell me how you found it, and at least reassure why it's going to work in the future. Don't give away too much. You can't tell the Iranians, but you just gotta let us know what's the future look like in this post regime change Iran America. Is our quality of life actually going to go up one time from any of these regime change wars? Because so far, 0 times it's happened. It looked like I hold up 3. I want to make sure it's very fucking 0 there. Very much is a 0. So, Trump dismisses negative polling on Iran attack. You got to dismiss it, bro. I mean, if you think about it, you're going to realize that they all hate you now. So Moscow's worrying about NATO buildup in the Arctic, or warns of worrying NATO buildup. Yeah, it's worrying the amount of buildup. Yeah, there's a posture up for a war, and it's scary because they're not even, they haven't even completely took out Iran. They killed the leader, but they haven't took out the country and its army and its system, and they're already talking about going into Turkey and shit. This is how world wars begin. I mean, I've studied enough. Shit. Yeah, Putin holds crisis calls. RT is more real right now, man. I'm reading RT and like, I'm not a fucking Russian fucking. Look, I don't lick boot for no other fucking countries. There's 2 countries that I have any affiliation to. The one that I born, raised, and live in and love, and the one that my family came from that I also love, and is my heritage. Other than that, I just speak what I think. And so, RT, I don't know. They seem to. Yeah, U.S. lawmaker accuses Trump of trying to bury Epstein with Iran, and they're talking about Thomas Massey. The RT is like more based than most of these news. See, yeah, man, they're gonna eventually demonetize this shit, and I don't care. RT is based. Saying it. RT. I'm just talking about that guy Artie. Yeah? Artie is based, bro. I'm just reading what I should really go into. France is gonna expand its nuclear arsenal. Dude, if there's one country in the world I don't want having nukes, it's France. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't. Dude, this man probably. We don't know what the fuck he's done. Okay, we don't know what Macron has done, but we know that his wife, the one that was probably not born as a woman, but allegedly, has been going after podcasters and sending hits out on podcasters. And with them having nukes, they're gonna start going after like fucking like, you gotta watch, like Candace Owens and shit needs to watch out. Like, who's France's enemy? I mean, like, so basically, I think, like, I think she lives in Nashville or some shit. I don't know exactly where Candace Owens lives. I can't remember, but I do watch her quite a bit. She's a pretty smart person. But I'm telling you, if France has all these nukes, who are they gonna fucking aim at? It's gonna be aimed at her house, probably. So I really wouldn't want to be her neighbor if we ever get in a war with France. But if history tells us anything, especially with the last World War, well, France, that's probably the only weapons that they will use in an effective way, because they'll just get rolled over in 1 second. They already have. Their country's already had been conquested and defeated. The French people are almost completely gone from the territory. There's a lot of people from a whole bunch of different countries there now. And it's way more multicultural than even the US, I'd say. And so even when I'm talking shit on France, I'm not talking shit on a regular French person who's red-pilled. Of course not. anyone who's red pilled on the Zionist woke global NWO, I have no problem with you. I don't care where you're from. Don't care. You're Iran, Israel. Don't care. You're on team awake, not woke. Because there's this woke right shit, and yeah, it's funny how the woke right keeps pointing at each other. The woke right is obviously the people who are canceling people over what they're saying and calling them names like racist or anti-Semite. I mean, just like the woke left did. They're canceling and calling names to shut people up. So there's only one woke right, and it's not the side. And it's just like, Owen Schroyer predicted it. He showed up a clip of his that about a year ago. He said if Trump goes to war in Iran, the whole MAGA thing, his whole base will split in the middle. I think that happened, but the only difference is it's more of a bigger split than you think. I think it's probably like 70-30. And even a lot of the 30% are just cautiously optimistic. They just hope that this won't go on long and long. They're just remembering last year and not realizing that Iran has declared a full state of war, which they did not do last time. Which means that it doesn't matter if you kill any of their leaders. They're basically set to just keep firing missiles at any location from their country until they're completely defeated. So, I don't know, man. And Trump's spinning it like they're attacking all these countries in the region who seem to be neutral. It's like they're not neutral if they have U.S. bases on them and U.S. fucking bomb them. Where are they refueling? I mean, come on. I'm not, and this isn't shilling for Iran. I'm just saying this is just stop lying to us, okay? You want a regime change. That's what it is. Be honest with the people. Maybe we might actually be cooler about it. I know I would be. I still wouldn't be happy, but at least I would be like, at least there's a level of honesty we get with him that we don't get with others. But it's more of a backstabbing event because this whole time they were going after him and he looked so anti-establishment for him to just do the most warhawk neocon shit he could ever do. And I encourage anybody to watch Sean Hannity's interview with Bibi Netanyahu yesterday when he said, there's rumors that you got him and basically pushed Trump into the war. And I know Trump. You can't push him to do anything, but, dispel these rumors. And then Bibi does this like, he does a laugh that is literally maniacal. And then just goes, oh, of course, yeah, Donald Trump is the most powerful leader in the world. That's why I saw him 7 times, and the thing I requested happened. And they're saying to their people in Hebrew, they won't say it in English, but in Hebrew, he's saying things like, we've been trying to do this for 40 years. Like, really? So they're not lying. They've been trying to do it for 40 years, but to us, it's because they have a nuke. But they've been trying to do it for 40 years, but it's also because they have a nuke. I guess they've been close to having a nuke for 40 years. There's always one particle away for 40 years, for 4 whole decades, for the amount of time it would take for like a really hick family to reproduce 3 generations. That's how long it took. I want that to be fucking noted. And they said that. They might have even said 50, but I know for sure 40 was said. It might have even been said 50 or 60 even. But I can't say for sure. But I know for sure 40. And if it's 50 or 60, imagine how many more hit kids come into the play. And that's the amount of time they've been waiting for it. But then, there's just been one little thing off. What if they do have a nuke? I mean, what if they do? That's another thing. Like, what if you just don't know? You think they're going to tell you? Oh, we can detect it from the sky. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I don't buy anything anymore. I'm one of those people. Like, I'm going through mainstream news and just shitting on everything. But it's crazy, though, because I actually look at the RT news, and I was kind of surprised by how it's just more realistic than the shit you read. And Jesus. Okay. So this is InfoWars, and they always have a very, very clickbait top headline. But breaking Iran war update: Strait of Hormuz closure. Oh, fuck! It switched headlines on me right when I was Okay. Strait of Hormuz closure rocks global markets. China's panic as conflict brings major powers into war. Actually, that's true. There was one I read before that. Okay, here it is. U.S. military commanders tell troops they're going to war with Iran to trigger biblical end times prophecy. Now, if that's what they're actually saying, I would get the fuck out. Right now, the next day, tomorrow, get out. To trigger an end times prophecy. That's why? Doesn't sound like we're going to be on the good side of that prophecy if that's the case. The aggressors, the ones who start it. Now, of course, this is a headline written by InfoWars, so it can be complete bullshit. But I'm just saying, if that is something that they're telling them, oof. In fact, I kind of want to see where they're... President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon, mark his return to Earth. A U.S. military commander reportedly said. So, to signal fire to Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. And then this is actually like trying to like bring biblical. Oh no, you're not gonna convince me that biblically this is some. No, I don't even know if that's what they're doing. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't think all of them are like that over there at InfoWars. Do you think Alex though has gone, some sort of some shit? They've got something on him, bro. I don't know what blackmail. I don't know. Because he's just not quite on the scale of hardcore as he used to be. He's way more with the system, with the administration, the administrative state. This is Jones. Realize the reason you probably are losing viewership and people don't trust you as much. I don't know. Maybe you do have legitimate reasons for shutting up, but bro, this is like George Bush, and you were talking shit on George Bush. So many of your following was during that time. Was gained during the time when you're saying these wars are stupid and it's all fucking a hidden agenda by the globalists. Now it's another one, and you're not gonna admit it just because you fucking he called and complimented you and your wife. Fuck. Yeah, there's a few headlines I just rather not riff on. They're more sad than anything. It's all pointless, man. People are dying. Why? Why? What? Who does this benefit? Why does this benefit this flag behind me? Why do I put it a bit lower? In all seriousness. It's not. I want it to be very clear. The other flag is not there to be above it or anything. That's just another flag I have. I rep both. But this country's in distress, man. In distress. We are not being controlled by people who have the interests of this soil and the people who live on it at heart. They only have the interests of Israel at heart. That's all they seem to give a shit about. So just take the reality pill. You call it red pill, black pill, white pill, all this shit. I mean, the reality is that just live in reality, okay? Just live in reality. Don't take no pill. Just realize what you're surrounded by instead of just like, being kind of just a robot inside of it. Inside of this Matrix program that we're in, realize what we're surrounded by. There's a lot of shit around us, a lot of bullshit, and a lot of the warfare is not just going to be bombs. It's going to be psychological, and I want that to be. That's what I mean when I'm saying it's in the air. There's a lot of stuff that we read during the beginning of a war or during a war is going to be false. So keep your eye on the fucking swivel and make sure you know that, because at the moment they say things like U.S. is running low on certain munitions. That could be true, but that also could just be something to throw off the Iranians. I don't know. Propaganda's high at this time. any time. And when a war first breaks out, propaganda goes through the fucking roof. So just don't fall victim to it. And I think I've gone on long enough. Let's toast the fallen hero, which is the son of that mayor, 43-year-old mayor who his friend fucked. And I'm sorry that your mom did that in front of everyone you know. I have a glass of vitamin C. I don't even have any alcohol to toast you with, so sorry. But I'm gonna toast that kid and wish him good health and good immunity, by the way. And in all seriousness, yeah, no, that wasn't cool. Keep your head up, man. You're not the only person to have a mom as a hoe. I'm just glad that I'm not, but a lot of people I know have that situation in their life, and I'm sorry. Bad, but it's even worse if you have to actually witness it in front of your face. Fuck. So we gotta send our condolences to the young. Okay, I was gonna sing to something, but then the sound totally changed up. To the kids who had to see that shit. I know that was fucked up and all, but it doesn't matter. You're gone. Just take some drugs. That's what your doctor recommends. After your mom tried to make amends, but she kind of traumatized you. I don't know why. She's not wiser. She drank too many Budweisers and she tried to fucking violate your friend. And he got in the rear end. She should just bartend instead of being a fucking mayor. But anyway, for SSN, episode 6 or whatever the hell episode this is. Peace.